Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paritosh, Anand. Welcome to the Communications Masterclass. I can see people here from all over the world, different corners of the world. We have people here from Toronto, we have people here from New York, we have people here from Dubai, we also have people here from Sri Lanka. Man, that's actually covering the entire world. It's daytime here in India. I'm in Mumbai currently. It's 3:34 p.m. and I just woke up pretty much 5 minutes ago. I got a call from Hardik saying, "Bhai, aapki masterclass, it's time for your masterclass." And I was like, yeah, don't worry. I'm very excited for what all we're going to be talking about here today. I am pretty sure that your times, they're extremely valuable. You've paid a decent amount of money to be here as well. Thank you for giving me that opportunity. Thank you for giving me that honor. But I'll make sure that the next 45 odd minutes are extremely valuable for each and every one of you, because what we're going to be talking about here today is something that, that it might be seen as very basic, but the way we're going to be doing it is something that's going to change your lives only if and only you apply whatever I'm going to tell you. And it's very simple. It's very simple. I'm not going to give you any bookish language. I'm not going to give you the tips and tricks. All I'm going to give you is experience. Because trust me when I say this, that I was the biggest introvert you can possibly imagine. Like I'll tell you a few stories about me being an introvert as well, and then we'll get right into it. But I still remember back in my school days, I was such big of an introvert that I used to feel scared of talking to people. I used to sit in a corner, have my tiffin all by myself, just solve my books. Back in the days, I used to study for my SAT and for my colleges and universities in the United States and Canada, and for the JEE for my universities here in India. And I used to remember that I used to prefer sitting in a corner by myself doing absolutely nothing rather than just talking to people, because I used to feel so scared, so underconfident, so shy. It used to feel like a task to go to talk to people, but I used to be like, nee man. I realized that the kind of dreams that I have, the way I wanted to share my story all across the world on different stages all across the globe, I knew that I had to transition from who I was to what I am now. And honestly, there was no book as such, no person as such which had a very huge impact in my life. The only few things that I actually made, the things that actually made changes were the little changes I brought in myself in the day-to-day basis. And based on those few changes, I've been able to make this, design this entire masterclass for you guys. And yeah, I'm actually very excited to take you through each and every bit of it. Now, I'm pretty sure all of you all are here from very different streams, very different, very different realms of your life. I can see a few people opening their notebooks. See, Tarun, mere bhai, Tarun, you don't need an entire notebook or something like that. Just listen to me. Having a notebook, making notes is great. It's wonderful, but don't worry about it as much. Just listen to me. This masterclass has to be where you're just observing. Just open your eyes, open your ears and observe, because even the way I talk in this masterclass is a lesson in itself. You need to grasp as much as you can, not just from what I'm telling you, but from the way I'm telling it to you as well. So don't just make notes, make sure you're listening to me as well. So coming back, just let me grab a sip, man. And also, just by the way, there's a camera here for YouTube, for my YouTube audiences. Hello to my YouTube audience. I hope that you're able to extract some value out of it as well. And yeah, they will get this for free. Anyway, coming back. So, no matter who you are, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure that you're from very different realms of your life. You might be a content creator for that sake. You might be an entrepreneur for that sake. You might be someone working in a professional, 9-to-5 professional job. Or simply someone who wants to be more confident, someone who just wants to approach their crush, just talk to their crush, talk to the people that they like. So just understand how, just to get context of how important communication is, all of us, we have an idea, right? Like as a content creator, you have an idea. As a content creator, you might have an idea of how to make that particular video that you've been thinking about. As an entrepreneur, you might be having an idea of how to take an idea from where it is to maybe $1 billion or $1 trillion idea. Trillion is too unrealistic, man, but who can stop us from dreaming, right? But anyway, 9-to-5 people working, people just wanting to be more confident. All of us, what I mean to say is that all of us, we have an idea. Now, assume that this is your idea, all right, and this is your customer. For example, for an entrepreneur, this is the investor. Right, for the content creator, this is the audience. For the person who wants to talk to their crush, this is their crush. Now, how do you get your idea from where it is to the person, to the customer in this case? The bridge here, ladies and gentlemen, that is what communication really is. Because until and unless you communicate your idea in the right way, it's not going from here to here. It's not traveling the distance. It's not going from, it's almost like a game of Chinese whisper. I'm pretty sure you've played that game, right? We start at the beginning of the chain, we start with something, but by the time it reaches the end, it's absolutely different. It's completely different. Now, that is the role that communication is playing here. If you don't communicate your idea the right way, it is not going to be conveyed in the right way. A lot of us have that problem, right? Where we say that I was thinking of something else, but I could not convert that into words. We all of like pretty much every one of us we've gone through that phase, right? That is exactly what communication does. It becomes that bridge between your idea and your customer. Your customer can be anyone in this case. It can be your investor, it can be your audience, it can be simply that crush. Now, that is exactly what we're going to be solving here for today. How exactly are we going to be doing it? Just let me insert some space. It's very difficult for me. I'm not tech savvy at all, ladies and gentlemen. Let me be very honest. But yeah, okay. How exactly are we going to be solving that for you? We're going to be covering 3 very important points about communication. Number 1 is ORS. Number 2 is storytelling. And number 3 is VMBL, as I call it. Now, we're going to be expanding down on each one of these as well, starting off with something as simple as ORS. Not the ORS that you have after going through a very beautiful and a very eventful night. That's something that I do probably almost every other day, but yeah, getting back to it, ORS. What do I mean by ORS? ORS is one of the most simplest ways of breaking conversation with whoever you want, ladies and gentlemen, literally whoever you want. If you're, say maybe if you're in a pub, if you want to go talk to a girl that you like, if you're in a networking event, if you want to go talk to that potential investor that you like, all you need to do is just have a good grasp of this particular technique. What is it? ORS. Observe, reflect, and shoot. Now, let me tell you a few things. The biggest mistake that we do as human beings, especially when we have to, break the ice with people around, break the ice with people that we want to have those conversations with, the biggest mistake that we do is that we talk to them about things that we find interesting. We think about things, this is our process, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that I'm not. This is our process. We think like, what's interesting, what's happening around the world, what can I go and talk to him or her about, what will make me sound interesting, can I think of a story, what do I do? This is the problem. The greatest problem here is that you're thinking of how to make yourself sound interesting, but the question is not about you being interesting. The question is about them being interested. It's very simple. Just try. I'll repeat it when I say it. The question is not about you being interesting. It's not about you being interesting. No. It's about the other person being interested. How can they be interested in what you are talking about? How do we do it? Simple technique. Observe, reflect, shoot. You don't talk about what you want to talk about. You talk about what they want to talk about, or what they want to listen to, or what they are interested in. How do we do it? Very simple. O. O. O for observe. Observe where they are, who they are with, and what. The 3 W's. All right. Where they are, who they are with, and what. This is the most important. What is that one thing that other people are not noticing about them? Are they wearing an expensive watch? Are they wearing an expensive perfume? Are they wearing a nice jacket? Do they look fitter than before? What is that one thing that they've been working on? One thing that they want other people to notice about them? That is the what here. And that is all you do. The moment you have this little bit of calculation, rather than thinking about going back to it, rather than thinking about how you can be interesting, think about how they can be interested. How do you do that? By thinking about these 3 W's. Then we come to R, reverse. Don't talk about what you want to talk about. Talk about what they want to talk about or what they want to listen about. How exactly do we do it? By coming to a conclusion about these three. As simple as that. And as soon as we have it in our minds, what exactly do they want to listen to or what exactly do they want to talk about? You shoot. Not literally. I could have made a very bad joke here, but don't want to sound racist at all because we're here with a global audience. So yeah, very simple. Observe, reflect, shoot. Now, let's take it with an example so that it's... I'm going to encourage each and every one of you to have your responses to this as we speak as well. So, let me think of a situation, a very simple situation. All of us have been to college, right? Right? Show of hands. Wonderful. Take care. All of us have been to college. We've been in that situation where all of us have wanted to talk to, say maybe a person that we like. That can be a boy, that can be a girl. Totally based on your preferences. Not pointing anything out here at all. Don't quote me for it. But let's assume here in this case, because I'm a boy, you're a boy in your college, and because the majority of the people we have here are boys itself. But let's assume you're a boy in your college and there's a girl that you like. You're in your college canteen. Alright, so let me paint this picture for you. You're a second year boy in college, you're wearing your college uniform, you're hanging out with your boys in the college canteen, and then you see the girl that you like, the girl that you've been wanting to have a conversation with for quite some time. She's sitting on a table right next to yours, or in fact, she's sitting on a table एक छोड़ के, मतलब there's a table in between and then there she is. She's sitting, but she's sitting by herself. And she's having her tiffin. She's not having anything from the canteen, she's just having her tiffin. Alright, now this is your opportunity. You can very simply go talk to her. Now how exactly do you go and break that first conversation? Think about it. You have 30 seconds. 30 seconds to apply these rules. Until then, I'll have my sip of coffee. And if people from YouTube are watching as well, you have 30 seconds as well. Make sure you're trying it out. This is a very interesting activity. Oh, I love my coffee. Ha. Okay. Are we done? It's very simple. It's very simple. You don't have to make it so complicated. So, okay. Observe. Let's observe a few things. Back to the 3 W's that we used to talk about. Okay. Where is she? Who's going to tell me where is she? Perfect. College canteen. Perfect. Who is she with? Nobody. What is that one thing that she might want people to notice about her? So let's come to it, but let's first take out a few derivatives from our where is she and who is she with. She is in a college canteen. She's sitting alone and she's having her tiffin. Okay. So where is she getting that tiffin from? Probably her hostel, right? Because of course she's not local. So she's getting that tiffin from her hostel. She's sitting all by herself. So is there a possibility that she might be feeling homesick? She might be feeling homesick, right? It's like you know that she's not from around town. You know that she's sitting all by herself. She is sitting in a college canteen having her tiffin all by herself. There's no one around. What do you do? What do you go and talk about? What is that one thing that she might want you to talk about? What is that one thing? Can it be homesickness? Can it be maa ke haath ka khana? For the people who couldn't understand here, can it be, say maybe the favorite dish that your mother used to cook for you? It's as simple. No, it's such a beautiful emotion. All of us do feel it, at least at some point in our lives. We do feel homesick, and then the first thing that we miss is that dish that our mother used to make us. So can that be the core foundation of our communication here? It can be, right? So based on those observations, we reverse engineer that maybe she might want to talk about being homesick, and maybe she might want some company, or might not as well because she's sitting alone, but she would still want to talk about this. She wouldn't mind talking about it, right? And that is when you go shoot. Something as simple as just sitting on the table right next to her and just having your own cup of coffee or whatever for that sake, and just pointing something as simple as this out. I'll say this in Hindi because that's my mother tongue, and it makes me, I'm a natural at Hindi actually, but I'll repeat it for the people who don't understand in English as well. But something as simple as कुछ भी कर लो यार, माँ के हाथ का खाना अलग होता है, याद तो बड़ी आती है, क्यों? You see, you feel me here? So for the people who couldn't understand, what I said in that moment was that no matter what you do, no matter where you go, no matter what kind of food you taste around the globe, but There is nothing that can match the food that your mother makes for you. It's something as simple. It's something very simple. But the way it's going to attack, it's not going to attack essentially, but it's going to make the person feel like they're home. Make the person feel that, I can talk to this person. She's probably sitting alone because her friends, they don't understand the kind of situation that she's going through. They don't understand that she's homesick. They might not even know what homesickness means. But there comes this person who is striking that conversation by talking about something as simple as homesickness. And that is it. That is your cue of breaking conversation and talking to people. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this is something that can be applied literally anywhere. This can be applied to networking events. This can be applied to the people that you actually want to strike good, genuine conversations with. I'm genuinely going to go back to what I was stressing upon earlier as well. Rather than being interesting, be interested. Now, the first point, it was very important for us to know how to start a conversation. Now, how do you build that conversation as well? It's very important. How do you build that conversation? You've started the conversation. Now, how do you build that conversation? You build that conversation by now being interested. First, you've given them the opportunity of being interested in you. Now, you be interested. How do you become interested? By coming out as a good listener. If you can come across as a good listener, you've already established that you are someone that can be trusted, you are someone that can be confided in, and you are someone that can be remembered. All of this can happen if you're coming across as a good listener. And it's very simple. One of the very simplest hacks that I use when I want to come across as a good listener is that I listen with my face and not with my mouth. I'm going to break it down for you. All right, let me write it down here as well so that all of the people who I can still see a few people making notes. So this is for you. Listening with your face greater than listening with your mouth. Now, what does this mean? When you're listening with your mouth, you're interrupting the other person by saying things like, yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah. Oh, wow. Wonderful. Oh, really? The moment you say things like these, the moment you're interrupting them with things like these, you're interrupting their chain of thought. You're not letting them complete. You're making them feel as if there's a rush. You're making them feel as if you want them to complete whatever they're saying, but in a rush. You are listening to them, but you're not listening to them. That is what you're establishing in that particular case. What do you do regardless? On the contrary, something as simple as listening with your face. If you're curious, just make a face that says that you're curious. If you want them to go on, if you actually are surprised by what they're saying and if you want it to go on, show that you want it to go on. You seeing what I'm trying to do here? It's very simple. The moment you start speaking with your face, with your eyes, the moment you start squinting your eyes, the moment you start playing around with your eyebrows, the moment you start playing around with your lips, these three, that is it. Eyes, eyebrows, and lips. That is it. That is what you use to listen with your face. And the moment you start doing it, that is it. Game over. You're not interrupting their chain of thought and you're allowing them to keep going on. That is what you have to achieve here. That is how you come across as a good listener. And if you come across as a good listener, if you come across as someone who's interested, you'll never be forgotten. That is it. That covers our first very important point of communication, which was ORS. Now, coming to the next point, which is somewhat of my absolute favorite. This is something that I love talking about. This is something that I feel, I like to call myself the Basanti. I don't know if a lot of people here might not have seen that movie, but there's a very classic Indian movie which has a wonderful character called Basanti. Alright, and Basanti is a great dancer. Okay, so I call myself Basanti because wherever I see money, I become Basanti. I go and dance like Basanti. Okay. And Basanti makes decent money as well, okay? Like she's dancing everywhere, she's making decent money, but she's only making money because she's dancing and she's a good dancer. Maybe people are enticed by the way she dances, right? For me, that dancing is my storytelling. Wherever I feel I'm just a human being that has chased money in almost every aspect of my life, but It's this one skill that has helped me chase money wherever I go, and it is storytelling, because that is the only thing I know how to do well. I only know how to tell stories. And I know this because this is very personal to me as well, and I'll tell you why. Because back in the days when I used to be, back in my introverted days, I still remember. I remember that the only medium that I had of telling the world what I actually felt, it was stories. I never had a friend that I could go and confide in. I never had someone that I could go and tell how I'm feeling. But it used to be stories through which I used to tell the world how I'm feeling. I used to create characters of my own. I used to create environments of my own. And I used to tell the stories of those characters. In a way, I was telling my story through those characters. So, that was how storytelling actually started for me. And that is how I feel it, the kind of impact that it's had in my life, it's absolutely massive, because it's helped me work with the best of best people. It's helped me work with the likes of Raj Shamani. I'm pretty sure all of us know him. He's the biggest. I apologize for that, guys. As I was saying, all of us, we know Raj Shamani. He's the greatest podcaster in the country. It's helped me work with the likes of Arman Malik, one of the best musicians all across the world. Helped me work with a few people that I genuinely seek inspiration from. Few people I've been honored to work with. For example, King, Munawar Farooqi, Ranveer Alabadia as well. A lot of these people, a great bunch of brands, and I feel the only reason I've been able to do that is because somewhere or another they've been able to see through the skill of storytelling that I have, and they know that I can transcend whatever idea they have in their heads and convert it into a visual masterpiece through the means of storytelling here. So that's exactly what we're going to be talking about here as well. Now, how do you become a great storyteller? You become a great storyteller by becoming a great liar. Trust me when I say this. A great storyteller is nothing but a great liar, a great manipulator. All you have to do is just make the other person feel, the person who's listening to your story. All you have to do is just make them feel as if they are the central character of your story. I'll repeat this for you again. A great storyteller will make you feel as if you are the central character of their story. You'll feel as if you're right there, as if you're the person those people are talking about, as if you are the person in that particular story, in that particular environment, and all the characters in that story are somehow related to you. That is what you'll feel. That is what a good storyteller will make you feel. That is why I say that a good storyteller, a great storyteller, is a great liar and an even greater manipulator. Now, the 3 golden keys of storytelling, and these are quite honestly my secrets as well, all right? 3 things. Relatability. I might be messing up the spelling here. My bad, ladies and gentlemen. Relatability, emotion as the core foundation. And number 3, voice modulation. Now, let's talk about all 3 of them, but because we're talking about a story, I'm not going to teach this to you in a very textbook sort of way. I'm going to teach you storytelling by teaching you, or by talking about a story. I'm going to teach you storytelling by giving you a story. All right? Give me a moment, please. How long have we been speaking? I've been speaking for the last 24 minutes. Okay. Are you guys having a good time? Really? Okay. Let me give you a story. What story do I give you? Okay. Let me think about something that almost all of us have lived. A part of our lives that all of us have lived. Okay. So, there's one thing that I really miss about childhood, and that is the days when I was being brought up, the days that used to be very close to our summer holidays, and the days that I literally used to run back home with the excitement of playing cricket in my gully. For people who don't know what a gully is basically a street road. Let's just call it a street here. So I used to be so excited back in my school days, especially when I was 11, 12. I was in my 6th, 7th class. Not a lot of academic pressure back in the days. All you had to do was just sit in your classrooms in your school, come back home, do a little bit of homework, and that is it. That is the maximum amount of work that you had to do back in the days. Apart from what you have to do today, you wake up in the morning, you're working until you're working. It's just like that, and I know that's pretty much the same for all of us as well. But back in the days, it used to be very simple. You're waking up, you're having your breakfast, you're going to school, you're meeting the same people every day, you're coming back home, doing a little bit of your homework, and then you're leaving. That part of the day, ladies and gentlemen, my favorite part of the day. I still remember, I used to pick up my bat and I used to go out shouting. I used to go out in the streets shouting the names of the people that I wanted to play cricket with. For example, if I'm playing cricket with Tarun here, I used to shout out his name while standing outside his house. Why? Because we did not have phones back in the day. We literally had to go house to house manually to call all of those people. So I'm standing outside Tarun's house. I'm shouting his name out. His mother is coming. He's coming. She used to say back in the days, aa raha hai, 5 minute mein aa raha hai. ऐसे आ रहा है, फिर तरुण आ रहा है, तरुण is coming, he's half asleep but still he's coming, but we want him to come. Why? Because he's the only one with the ball, he's the only one with the cricket bat, he's the only one with the cricket stump. So Tarun is a very important member of the entire team. Then we're going about calling other people as well. We're calling Tanishq, we're calling Rohan, all of these folks. So some are not coming. Why? Because their mothers are saying, no, he has homework. When he comes, he doesn't do homework with you. But then again, we want him to come. All of those moments, it's taking us a good 15, 20, 30 odd minutes sometimes to collect all of those 7, 8 odd people that we play cricket with every single evening. Then there comes that collection phase where everyone has to take out part of their pocket money. All right. Back in the days, I used to get literally 10 rupees as pocket money, and that is what, maybe a cent for you. For people in the United States, that's literally 1 cent for you as of now. All right. So I used to get 10 rupees as pocket money for me to eat something in school, and I used to save 5 rupees. Why? Because 5 rupees used to become my contribution for the ball, for the cricket ball that we used to take while we used to play in the evening. So all of us used to, those 3, 4 odd people, we used to give our 5, 6 odd rupees, collect a good 20, 25 rupees, and then we used to have that Costco ball. All right, a few people might be knowing that jumper ball. We used to call it jumper back in the days. The ball that used to have a good bounce and a good seam as well on the ball, all right? And we specifically used to go get that red color, so all of us would get that test cricket feel. So, we're getting the balls, then we're playing the balls. They're going to that one auntie's house who used to never give our balls back. Then all of us used to sit wondering what to do next. Then after everything got wrapped, we used to go drop everyone back at home. All of us used to come back at home. We're all drenched in sweat, sometimes even in the gutters, because we had to literally put our hands inside those gutters to get our balls out sometimes even bruised, because we had to climb the walls of that auntie's house to go get that ball from the terrace. But all of it used to be worth it, because the moment we used to come back, the only thing that we used to look forward to was the game that we had to play the next day once again. So all of it was absolutely worth it. And I still remember every single vivid memory from it. All of these names that I just took, they're of real players as well. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that as you were listening to this particular story, you were able to imagine yourself as a kid going out, calling Tarun. Although you might not even know who Tarun is, but you still felt it for a moment, right? You still felt it. You still felt that excitement of coming back from school, of being excited to go play your cricket, of being excited to contribute that little amount of money, saving that little amount of money to get that ball, being excited about playing that game, being a little furious whenever that ball went to that auntie's house, and then coming back and then looking forward to playing that game the next day. All of you felt that, right? I'm pretty sure you felt it. Why? Because I know that this story has a few elements that makes it a good story. And the few elements are, as I told, relatability. What did I do? I picked on something that almost every one of us have gone through. Every one of us have lived. So whatever I talk about from henceforth, it becomes very relatable. All of you have seen and felt it in your lives. Number 2, I use emotion as the core foundation of my story. And in this case, the emotion is nostalgia. I make use of nostalgia. I know that all of us here, we're either in our mid-20s or in our early 30s. And I know that we've lived that part of our lives. We've lived that part of our lives that we sometimes miss. Why? Because those were the simpler times, weren't they? The simpler times when we didn't have to worry about a thing in our lives. All we had to do was just wake up, go to school, come back, be excited about playing, do a little bit of homework, and then just leave. Wait for the clock to strike 5 and then just leave. And the third part, I lied in the beginning. Why? Because I didn't want you to think I was going to do that. But third part is very extremely important, ladies and gentlemen, which is specifics. It's specifics, adding specifics into your story. Why? Because it's these specifics that actually make the person feel that they're right there. Now think about the specifics that I was adding. I was adding how I used to wake up, have that breakfast before leaving. I was adding how I used to get 10 rupees as pocket money, 1 cent as pocket money. How I used to save 5 rupees of that because I had to go get that jumper ball. 25 rupees jumper ball, red color jumper ball. Why? Cricket fields jumper ball. Then we used to go call that guy named Tarun. Why is Tarun so important? Tarun is important. Why? Because he's the only person with the stumps and the bat. How is Tarun coming? Tarun is coming after his mother is coming in the balcony and shouting. Then there are other people involved as well, other characters. Rohan, Tanishk, all of these folks. Then there is that auntie who is never giving her ball back. But still, we're climbing, we're getting bruised. Sometimes we're dirty. Why? Because our hands are inside the gutter. All of these were 10 specifics that I was able to add in, I don't even know what, 2-3 odd minutes of the story that I told you. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is what I mean. You start with something that is extremely relatable. You build your entire story around an emotion, which becomes then the core foundation of your story, and you add specifics. The more specifics you add about where the story is happening, when is it happening from, what is happening outside, who are the characters around, what are their names, how are you feeling, how are the characters feeling. The moment you do that, you make the person in front a part of your story. And that is why I say that a great storyteller is a great manipulator, a greater liar. Why? Because they're able to create all of these moments that you feel are real. For example, Tarun, Tanishk and Rohan, they might not even exist in my life. I might not even have played cricket ever in my life. I might not even have felt excited to play cricket. I mentioned that I was an introvert, right? But how am I having friends to go play cricket with them? So what I'm trying to say here is that a great storyteller is nothing but a great manipulator, a greater liar. All you have to do is just lie, but lie with a clean sheet. And how do you do that? By adding more elements, adding more specifics to that story, by making the story a little relatable, by making the story around emotion as your core foundation. And that is it. The moment you start doing that, you become a great storyteller. Which now brings us to our third and very, very important part, that is voice modulation. Now, I could have very easily made voice modulation a part of the previous thing that I was talking about, which was storytelling in this case, because honestly, voice modulation is a very big part of storytelling. I'm pretty sure you would have noticed it as well. You would have noticed that the moment I wanted to talk about something interesting, I was taking my pitch up, but the moment I wanted to talk about something important, the moment I wanted you to pay attention to what I was saying, I used to take this pause and I used to bring my pitch down. And that is exactly what we'll be discussing more about as well. So I won't just tell you something as basic as that, whenever you want to be excited, take your pitch up. Whenever you want to do something, talk about something important, bring your pitch down. That is important. Of course, it's very basic. This is something that almost everyone talks about. That take your pitch up whenever you want to be excited, bring it down whenever you want to talk about something important. But let's break all of this down, right? What exactly does voice modulation cover? So voice modulation, I would basically break it down into 3 categories. Number one is rate of speech. Rate of speech means how slow or how fast you're speaking. The speed, basically. Then, pitch of your speech. How high or low you're speaking. Alright, get the difference. The difference here is very important. The rate of speech here is how slow or fast you're speaking. The pitch of your speech is how high or low you're speaking. And then there comes the third, which is the pause. Now, let's talk about each one of them one by one. Rate of speech. Very simple. Now, all you have to do, ladies and gentlemen, here is just remember this graph. I made this graph in the beginning as well. Just remember this graph. Alright. I'm going to write here excitement, importance. No. Wait. I was bad at mathematics. I still am. I realize that. We're just going to term this. Let's not term this anything. You'll figure it out all the way. Alright. Even I'll figure it out all the way. This should tell you that none of this is scripted. I'm just speaking my heart out. I'm just speaking everything with experience. But anyway. Alright. So, rate of speech. Let's discuss rate of speech first. What exactly is rate of speech? Rate of speech is, ladies and gentlemen, how fast or slow you're speaking. So, whenever I want to talk about something that is extremely important, I'll speak in a very slow rate of speech. Why? Because I want you to pay attention to me. So what I'll do in that case is I'll just slow down my pace. But the moment I want to take it up, I am implying that this is something that is not very important and something that can be skipped because I want to arrive to a part that is important and I want you to pay attention to the part that is more important. So I take my pitch up. So that is what you do as well. The moment you want to talk about something that is not as important, you start speaking faster. You speak fast. Why? Because you know that there will come a time where you'll be speaking something important. And that is when you bring your pitch, your rate of speech down, your ROS down. Simple. I'll repeat it for you once again. The moment, I love playing around with this though. Whenever you want to talk about something that is not very important, a part where people should pay attention but not as much attention because there is something very important coming, you speak in a faster rate of speech, but the moment you want to talk about something important, you bring your rate of speech down. This is where the important things come in. This is where those things come in where you want the person in front of you to pay attention to you. And then you take it back up again. Why? Because you know that the other parts can then once again be skipped through. Not exactly skipped through, but can be paid a little attention. Why? Because there will come another part where you will need their attention, their full attention. So this is where you take their full attention. How do you grasp their full attention? By giving them ye menu. This is like a menu that you're giving them, that okay, these are the parts that are important. So whenever I come to a part that's important, I'm just simply going to bring my rate of speech down. That is where you pay attention to me. And the parts where I'm speaking at my normal rate, at my regular rate, or a rate which is a little faster than usual, you can say possibly pay a little less attention. And the only reason you're paying less attention is because there are things that are more important that are coming up. Right? Understood? Very simple. Wonderful. All right. Do try it out. Let's also do one thing. Let's take a very simple example. In this, our case will be Tarun. Tarun and Paritosh are great friends. Okay. So what we'll do is that we'll try all of these three sentences. We'll try this one sentence and I'll try to give you how exactly your ROS, your POS and your pause, they affect this one particular sentence. Now, we've learned about the ROS, so how exactly do we do it here? Tarun and Paritosh are great friends. Tarun and Paritosh are great friends. Or, Tarun and Paritosh are great friends. You're trying to see what I'm doing? What? In this moment, when I'm saying Tarun and Paritosh are great friends, I want you to pay attention to great friends. And when I'm doing something like this, Tarun and Paritosh, they're great friends. I want you to pay attention to the names Tarun and Paritosh. It's something as simple as this. I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say. I'm pretty sure this is fun. This is fun for me as well. But yeah. Okay. Now, moving on to the next. Pitch of speed. Now, listen to me very carefully. Let's remove this. We're talking about POS now. Pitch of speed. Pitch of speed is the way you're talking. It's something very simple. How high you can take your voice and how low you can bring your voice. It's very simple. Listen to me do it once again. The moment you want to talk about something that's very exciting, you take your pitch up. But the moment you want to talk about something that is very important, you bring your pitch down. You bring your voice down. And I'm not talking about the rate of speech here. Listen to me very carefully. I'm not talking about the rate of speech here. I'm not talking about how fast or how slow you're speaking. I'm talking about the pitch here. How high, how low are you going? Very simple. We're going to be doing this once again. The same sentence. Tarun and Paritosh are great friends. Tarun and Paritosh, they're great friends. Okay? Try to see this again. Try to pay attention. Listen to me and watch the graph. Tarun and Paritosh, they're great friends. Contrary, Tarun and Paritosh, they're great friends. It's very simple. First, I'm wanting you to pay attention to great friends. That is when I'm bringing my pitch down here. The second, I want you to pay attention to the names. That is when I'm bringing my pitch down here. It's very simple. But, you know something, I'd like to point out something here. In this case, I've seen a lot of students, a lot of my own students, they feel cringed out. They feel cringed out. They're like, Paritosh, I don't want to speak like this. I sound very cringe. Until and unless you discover the highs and the lows in your voice, the fast and the slow of your voice, how exactly are you going to use it? This is almost like playing the piano. Okay, let's do this. What I'm going to do here right now is just play this note for you. The reason that people are not paying attention to how or what you're speaking is because you speak like this. You speak like this one boring tone here. Why do you think people will pay attention to you if you speak like this? If you're speaking in the same tone, not repeating, not changing your tone, not changing your pitch, not changing your rate of speech, why do you think people will pay attention to you? But will people pay attention to you if you spoke like this? What's happening here is, ladies and gentlemen, that once I know what notes I can take my voice to, I can modulate my voice in order to achieve that particular tone. So, until and unless I know that there exists a high and a low in my voice, I won't be able to use them together, right? I won't be able to do something like this. Why? Because I'm always speaking like this. I need to know that there are highs and lows in my voice for me to be able to speak like this. And how does that happen? The moment I discover my high and my low, I start to practice. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Your voice, your vocal box is almost like an instrument. The more you practice it, the more you practice how to play the piano, it's exactly the same how you tame your voice modulation, your vocal box as well. How do you do it? Simply, step number one, discover your high and your low. The moment you do it, start playing around with it. Start playing around. The more you play around with it, the more you'll be able to discover more about your voice. And the more you discover about your voice, the more you'll be able to change the way you speak as well. So The rate of speech here matters as well. Now, if I only know how to play like this, I am playing with different elements, I'm playing with different pitches, but I'm playing at the same speed. It might become boring after a point. So what do? I bring in different speeds. I hope that explains. Back to the main setup now. Yup, so this was exactly what I was trying to show you, that, for you to be able to bring in those variations in your voice, it's very important for you to know all the weapons that you have. This is almost like playing a game as well, that, we've all played that Counter-Strike, Call of Duty games. Until and unless we know that we have those guns, those weapons available with us, we wouldn't know what to shoot the enemy with, right? This is exactly it. This is your weapon. This is your greatest weapon, ladies and gentlemen. And until and unless you know the kind of ammunitions that you have, how fast you can speak, how slow you can speak, how high you can go, how low you can go. Until and unless you know all of this, you won't be able to bring in that variation in your speech. And one final part of that variation is pause. The moment you want to talk about something important, you take a pause. It's as simple as that. The moment you want the other person to pay attention to you, the moment you want them to listen to you closely, all you do is take a pause. But make sure you're pausing at the right time. Make sure you're not pausing too much. Make sure you're not pausing too less, too much. All of this, then again, all of this comes with practice. Then again, all of it comes with practice. Until and unless I played the piano for 1,000 nights, I didn't know how my hands are going to fit on it well. And that's exactly, for that I have a very special exercise. This is something that I used to do a lot with my piano. I call this, what do I call this? I actually don't call this anything. It's a very simple exercise. So I'll tell you how I got good at playing the piano, right? It was something very simple. What I used to do was that I knew that there are a lot of piano players out there, but not every piano player is a performer, right? There's a very big difference. There's a very big difference between being a regular performer and a piano player. I wanted to be a performer. I wanted to be the person that everyone applauds, not just for playing great piano, but also for being a great performer. And that is also the difference between a good speaker and a great communicator. Because a great communicator is a great showman. He knows how to show up on stage. He knows how to stand. He knows how to use his hands. All of that. So there's a very special exercise which will help you track all of this and which will help you get better with time as well. All you need to do is just pick up your phone, keep it right in front of you. All right, open the camera like that, keep it right in front of you. Now, the moment you've done that, start talking. For 2 minutes, talk about anything. In my case, in the case of my piano, I used to play one song. That song is called Pehla Nasha. I used to play that song. In your case, what you could do is you could talk about a memory, your favorite memory. Talk about your favorite memory. For 2 minutes, talk about your favorite memory. Now, let's assume I'm going to do this in front of you. I'm going to put my camera right here and I'm going to talk about my favorite memory. Now, all right. I remember my favorite memory is from the year... Okay, I remember my favorite memory is from the year 2021. In fact, 2019, when I went to Bali for the first time. This is a very special date in my life because this had a very huge emphasis on who I am and what I will eventually become. Because on that particular day, I was sitting on the Karangboma cliff. That's a wonderful cliff in Bali, in Uluwatu, Bali. I was sitting on that cliff and there was a sunset right in front of my eyes. Most of the people had already left because that's not the kind of a place that a lot of tourists would come to, because it doesn't have anything. It doesn't have any pubs, no clubs, nothing around. Just a wonderful, a very cute, a very small, a very small corner of that cliff where I was sitting, and I was just looking at the sunset, and I made a video there. I remember talking to myself after a very long time. I used to create a lot of videos, but I remember I hadn't been able to talk to myself in a very long time. So I created a video there, and I just saved that video in my gallery as a time capsule, a video that I could come back to later at some point in my life. And what I was doing in that moment was I was talking to my future self, telling him things that, I hope you've done this, I hope you've done that, all these tiny little things. And in that moment, I was feeling very happy because number one, I had this opportunity to connect with myself. Number two, I was able to feel a lot in that moment. I was seeing a beautiful sunset, and I was talking to myself in a way, a future myself, but still I was talking to myself in a way. And I was alone. I was by myself. I knew that this video wasn't going out anywhere. There were no people around. So I wasn't doing any of this to please anyone, but I was doing this to please my own self. I was doing this for my own self. So yeah, that still stands as one of my favorite memories till date. Okay? Oh wow, that was actually pitch perfect. I ended up speaking just for 2 minutes. So we've recorded the video. That's step number one. Step number two is we watch that video on mute. See, I'll put it out for you guys as well. We watch that video, but we watch it on mute. All right. So what I'm doing in this case right now is when I'm watching the video on mute, I'll be able to see if I am presenting myself the right way. Am I using my hand gestures? Am I modulating my expressions on my face? Am I using my eyes, my lips, my eyebrows well? Am I showing in my face that I'm interested to talk about this particular story? Am I doing all of that? If I'm doing all of it, I'll make a note. If I'm not, I'll still make a note. What will I make a note of? That hand gestures can be done better. Okay. Eyebrows can be moved more. Eyes can be flinched more. Standing position can be better. All right, all of these things. I'll note down these 4 things. And then what I'll do is, the next practice is, I'll put the phone down. Remember, I hadn't been able to talk to myself in a very long time. So I'll push the volume up and I'll only listen. In my gallery as a time capsule. A video that I could come back to later at some point in my life. And what I was doing, that's all I'll do. I'll listen. First, I'll watch the entire video without listening. I'll only look at it from my eyes, and then I'll listen to the entire video. And in that moment, I'll note things down like, am I modulating my rate of speech? ROS. Am I modulating my pitch? POS. And am I taking enough pauses? These 3 things here. This will help you note down, are you modulating your voice enough? This will help you note down, are you using your body language the right way? And the moment you've done these 2, that is it. Game over. Because you've done this once, all you have to do is just repeat it thrice every single day for 2 weeks. That is all I'm asking for. And fuck that, man. Don't even do 2 weeks. Just do 1 week. Thrice every day for 1 week. Thrice every day for the next 7 days. You'll see yourself talking to people in a much different way after these 7 days. That is it. That is it for the masterclass, ladies and gentlemen. I've ended up talking about for almost 56 minutes. Don't go anywhere. There's something very important coming up. I am sure that, a lot of people have taken a lot of value from this particular masterclass, and I'm sure you'll be taking a lot of things home, but there's one thing that I genuinely want to say, that I don't want you guys to waste this 1 hour of your life. We've been talking to each other for the last 55 minutes, and I feel that I want this to go somewhere, right? I'm sure a lot of you are sitting with a lot of notes here. And I'm sure a lot of you are feeling that, that this masterclass was great, this and that. But do not let this temporary feeling of motivation distract you from the fact that there is a transformation that awaits. Try to feel what I'm trying to say here. Do not let this temporary, you've watched, you've spent the last 1 hour consuming this masterclass, you've listened to me, you've made a decent amount of notes, but do not let this temporary motivation, this temporary sense of satisfaction take you away from the fact that there is a transformation that awaits. So yeah, if you found this masterclass helpful, there is a way that you can also become a better version of your own self, which is this course that I have. It's called Introvert 2. I covered a lot of elements of that course here, but trust me when I say this, there is a lot that I have not been able to talk about. It's the price here, you can see the price on screen as well. There's nothing, absolutely nothing to hide. We're also doing a special discount. The discount is called just use this code called icon10 and you'll be given a good special discount while you're purchasing this course as well. But as I was saying, there's a lot that I wasn't able to talk about because of course, I've been given a 1 hour, a 60-minute hard stop, and we only have the next 25 odd seconds to talk about this. But yeah, there's a lot that I wasn't able to talk about, lot that I feel I have it in me to tell it to you people. And I'm sure that, if you felt that this masterclass, this 60-minute masterclass was able to bring a little bit a little bit change in your life, I am sure there's a lot for you in this particular course that can do a lot. I'm literally, there's a piano lesson in the course as well, where I'm sitting down breaking voice modulation for you. But more importantly, one of my favorite chapters is this right here, public speaking, where I'm literally breaking down my speeches on stage. I'm breaking down how exactly, the little tricks and tips that I have from stage. I'm breaking them down. I'm breaking them down while watching live recordings of me on stage. I'm telling you the little things that I do, how exactly that it changes the entire way that the audience perceives me. So yeah, I feel this is quite a helpful course. We've had a bunch of people who've taken a lot of inspiration. For example, I have this wonderful video here as well.
You might have come here to see if the course or the webinar is worth it or not. Please don't buy this course. Please don't. Because मेरे फायदे ना.
Hi Paritosh, Tasha here.
Hi, this is Rossum Party.
My name is Arjun.
Hello. Hello Paritosh bhai. Good morning sir.
Hi, I am Bhargavi.
And I attended your workshop.
इतना प्यारा workshop.
The experience was great.
पूरे 3 घंटे ऐसा कभी लगा ही नहीं जैसे मास्टर क्लास में बैठे हैं।
मैं इमेजिन ही नहीं कर सकता कि कोई इंसान कैसे पियानो से वॉइस मॉड्यूलेशन सिखा सकता।
So yeah, these are a few testimonials that we were able to collect of the people who've enrolled in this course, who've taken a lot of value from this course. We've been able to transform people who were shy into confident speakers, as you can see here as well. One of them is here. But yeah, not to oversell you anything, but this is something that, can be a very good incentive attached to you wanting to become a better version of yourself. And of course, I feel it's easier to transform when you get a person holding your hand and taking you to that final winning race, final winning line. And I want to be that person for you because I know what it is like to be an introvert. I know what it is like to be in that spot where other people underestimate you because you're shy, you're underconfident, you're not able to express your points. I've been in that situation and I want to be there for you, helping you out. But regardless, thank you so much for watching this masterclass, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paritosh Anand. If you were able to enjoy this, make sure you do share it with especially the people watching on YouTube. Make sure you do share it with your friends so that they're able to get some impact out of this as well. I've been talking a lot, man. I guess I I'll need a decent amount of water for that. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I'll see you around. Bye bye.